Sorry about that, guys. My fingers are a bit old. I thought I had hit the button hard enough to go live, and I didn't. So I like to give the people a bit more of a countdown, but sorry that was a bit short. But it is me and Gov and Donnie back at you again. And unfortunately, we were going to do a Thursday slate. It was gonna look good. We were gonna be in our pajamas. It was gonna be a fantastic time, but I forgot. I have to work, so we're going to build a lineup tonight and just give you guys a quick recap. I thought I'd start with a lineup that I thought was very fun, and the reason I want to start with this lineup is it was just a min cash, but like that's why I like PMR. And we always talk about like sometimes you got to play for the fun of it, and like I know there's no real advantage, but like I do believe in some kind of like I don't know mythological powers. Like there's just something that I gain from having PMR late. And I guess there is strategy because it allows me to, pivot and to transition to different plays once we get injury news. But whenever I leave a lot of PMR on the table for the late games, it just tends to work my way. I do think people want to see themselves winning earlier in the slate in the early afternoon. So I do think those guys do tend to be higher owned. But the Kenny Pickett to Pat Fryinbirth waited till the witching hour, as Hanson would say from the red zone. But it got me there. I mean, Fryinbirth, I think, had 6 points in the last like 4 minutes of that Steelers game and just got the min cash. So it was pretty exciting. Any other exciting news that you had, Donnie or Gov, that you want to mention this week?
I did hear that Sam Darnold is starting this week.
Yes, he is. Get to deal with the third quarterback finally.
He's better than Baker.
Yeah.
Because
that's not saying much, though.
He can run. I'm glad you mentioned that, Donnie, because I'm between him and John Wolford right now in my line. And I don't know. It doesn't always work, but this week it did. I just think quarterbacks touch the ball so much that if you got a starting quarterback that has any mobility at about the minimum price, you got to consider it. I mean, we built a terrible lineup with Baker Mayfield early in the morning. Me and Donnie sometimes do. It didn't work out, but the theory was there because he was cheap, and it opened up a lot of other things. We also have Melvin Gordon got cut by Denver, so you have Marlon Mack and Latavius Murray on Sunday with limited options given the Thursday slate. So,
right.
Well, plenty of time to talk about that on Saturday. But what did you guys think about the slate as a whole, or just this lineup, or any way you guys want to go? Sometimes I like to let you guys steer the show.
I was very shocked with how this Dallas game went. I mean,
I was surprised it all went through Pollard. It really was like I knew he would be a big factor in the offense, but like he stole everything from everyone that game, and that's he basically full Mixoned like the other week. He stole all the touchdowns you thought would go, but they were also like 2 of them were receiving touchdowns, so Dak still sort of got there. Even though no receivers were brought along. It's that weird situation where, like, normally when a quarterback has a solid game, he brings a receiver along with him to a solid game. None of the receivers for Dallas did anything, and Dallas puts up 40 points.
Well, not only that, we built the lineup with a Viking stack. We didn't see this game where the Vikings only scored 3 points.
Hold on. I did say to go with Dak over Cousins, did I not?
Yes, a lot of people were saying that, but Cousins was also cheaper and lower owned because most people wanted to go with Dak.
Now,
I don't think it was wrong going with Cousins. That game had a weird outcome in that Dallas put up the points we thought, but Minnesota did not keep up at all. And then Dallas's points all went through one guy, which is also normally Dallas is more like what we saw from San Francisco last night, where
Yeah.
everyone gets touches, everyone gets volume, everyone gets touchdowns. I was expecting CD to have his 10 for 100 and maybe a touchdown. I figured Gallup would have probably had a couple catches, maybe a touchdown. I figured Pollard and Zeke would have both had rushing touchdowns, and they would have scored. If you told me Dallas scored 40, I think everyone has a touchdown. Not Pollard has 3 or 4.
Yeah, this isn't to blow my own trumpet either. I'm just saying I did say this before, and I do think this is like a good review process. Is anytime Cousins is pressured, he's not the same quarterback. He actually, when he's pressured, he is the worst quarterback in the league of all the current quarterbacks, I believe, that are starting. That includes Jared Goff, who's also terrible under pressure, who Donnie can attest to because he saw what that kind of pressure looked like for the Patriots. And that's also why I went ahead and bet the Patriots to beat the Vikings this week because of that pressure. Because Duracell, their offensive, their left tackle is out. So not only does Cousins usually struggle on pressure, and the Patriots have been bringing a good amount of defensive end pressure. I do believe they still lead the league in sacks as an individual defensive end pass rush. But without Duracell, I don't know how they're going to protect Cousins.
Well, not only that, but Matthew Judon's having a crazy year. So
yeah, that's
it
what
just,
I'm saying.
And Dietrich Wise, he's turned into a decent guy who's going to be in there for a while. The only thing I worry about is I don't know how the Patriots get the interior pressure going more, but
I got plus money on it, Donnie.
They have been like second in like pressure rate this year, so like they're getting pressure somehow.
Yeah, but like Christian Barmore being out, it kind of sucks. But I just don't. Lawrence Guy, I guess, is decent at being up there, but there just doesn't seem like a guy who's going to, unless it's a scheme thing, and that's why,
But
it might just be a scheme thing.
As we review this lineup, we're going to talk about times where we got lucky, times where we got unlucky. I think the Cousins thing is something we have to look at and be like, this is the real thing. When he has a clean pocket, when he has a good shield of an offensive line, he's a fantastic quarterback. He's got all the weapons you can imagine. T.J. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Delvin Cook is one of the more underrated receiving backs in the league still. But when he's pressured, he is a totally different quarterback. And that's why I was surprised as hell to see that they were favored to beat the Patriots. I got the Patriots at +2 at +100 this morning. I jumped all over that. Speaking of jumping all over, what are some things you like about this lineup and some things you don't like? And then we can or even just plays. Like you don't got to specifically break down my lineup, but anything that like you thought we got unlucky with, anything you thought was fluky.
Josh Allen not putting up any points in that game was kind of fluky. Like they somehow got stopped in the red zone, kicked a lot of field goals. Like they put up a lot of points and had a very good moving offense for not scoring as many touchdowns as they should have. That was a little odd.
We're going to do this too. This is a good precursor go because we're going to do this a bit later where we build a Thursday line. I want to stay away from Allen because I think he's still hurt. And I think that ownership, from early ownership projections, it looks like he's going to be probably 40% owned.
Yep.
And
I agree. I do want a piece of Buffalo, but I'm fine not stacking Josh Allen. I'm perfectly fine not stacking Josh Allen, but we do need I really think we need like a mini stack from that Detroit Buffalo game.
I do think that game is the most likely to just get wild and crazy.
So I am actually on a different game for that, but we'll talk about that.
I have no idea how this game is going to work. Like how do you build a lineup on Thanksgiving? Is it like a normal Sunday lineup since there's so many games?
Yes, there's just only 3 games.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, and they left pricing. I think you could say maybe they left it to be fun because sometimes they do that. They want to be festive too, Donnie. They want people to have fun. But I won't even say it's like easy, but like some of the salaries are crazy. Like DeAndre Swift has saw more touches recently saw a lot of work in the wide receiver as a wide receiver this week. It might not have been seen because he wasn't targeted, but him and Williams were on the field a lot together in that game with the Giants. Like we split him out wide, and then had Williams in the middle, and he's only 5,400 this week. So Cook is still really cheap. These are some guys I like a lot. It'll be fun when we do that. Is there some other stuff that you guys want to mention? I mean, I can pull up DK Live even.
I kind of wanted to look at a lineup we all built together, just to talk about that specifically.
Yeah, that was a good line. I was saying before the show, the one thing I'm upset about with that lineup, Donnie, is there was a really cheap guy that we should have considered. I just missed it. And sometimes you're gonna miss, but Hodges had seen 7 targets, I believe, the week prior, and Isaiah Hodges, who played for the Buffalo Bills, who was a Dable guy, and of course against the Lions he saw a lot of targets. So I'm okay not playing Wendell or Wendell. But
he can't play him anyways.
Going to get there with a hamstring that was like a legit. Oh yeah, I'm saying hindsight. Like when we decided not to play him, that decision didn't bother me. But Hodges was like minimum price and saw 7 targets, and he would have been a perfect bring back. And we just missed. Would have gone to Justin Jefferson, and it wouldn't have worked out for us. So. But this is that lineup here. T. Higgins totally saved our bacon and totally made us in the money. Similar to the lineup I had up on the stream before, that Steelers Cincy game just had a lot of wildness at the end. Brian Booth had like 10 points in the fourth quarter. Pickens had like 8 points in the fourth quarter. Higgins, I think, only had 4 catches at halftime, Johnny, and then finished with 9. And they were like big gashes. I want to say like 2 60-yarders in the second half.
And we were on the right games too.
Yeah, we were.
Detroit has a good scoring game. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh was a good game to have. Like, no, we had the right game. Chicago, Atlanta had a lot of points. Like, we were on the side of the right game. Like, but somehow, like CeeDee Lamb got nothing in a 40-point game. It all went.
Washington had the lead all game, and Robinson did nothing.
Well,
even Gibson didn't do that much.
Robinson did play.
You cut out.
Well, that's what I was just going to mention. Remember, Robinson got a touchdown stolen from him. Got a touchdown stolen from him by Curtis Samuel on a jet sweep.
That is true. Curtis Samuel did have like a 5-yard jet sweep. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They faked it to Robinson, and then they like flipped it out to Curtis Samuel on a jet sweep. And had Robinson got that, it would have looked a lot different. CeeDee Lamb also had some red zone targets. It's just they didn't work out, and then they ran the ball with Ezekiel Elliott. I know Gov mentioned how Pollard had a good day, but Ezekiel had 2 touchdowns, and I know at least one of them was a red zone target to Lamb. So again, Gov talked about it. It's not always being right; it's being on the right plays. And Donnie's 100% right this week as well to say we were on the right stuff. So I have no problem with this. The only thing that does me nuts, because I just love value and I'm a treasure hunter, is I should have been on Hodges. Like, I should have seen that one coming.
Like,
I was on Wendell before.
I'd argue the only thing we blatantly got wrong was the Browns defense.
But we wanted to play a minimum salary defense. Could we have played 100 less and just played the Colts? Probably. That would have been better off. But then, I don't see anywhere in this lineup we would have used that $100. So it would have just been a wasted $100. So why not take the Browns on the road against a team you know is going to throw the ball? Maybe his arm causes Josh Allen to make mistakes. He didn't. He just didn't score touchdowns, or at least not through the air. They kept driving it down the field.
And they had
kicking
2
field
late
goals.
game ones. They had 2 late game scores to give them extra points.
Yep.
They did. Diggs got there late too. But see, my favorite defense this week, and it'll seem homers, is the Lions. What was the Lions, I should say, because they've been, since we fired our secondaries coach, we've gotten, I think, 9 turnovers since firing him. For some reason, they were blitzing like crazy. And I know he was just a defensive backs coach, but our whole secondary started playing totally different. We stopped pressing and mixed in more zone. And we've seen 9 takeaways recently, including Aiden Hutchinson getting back to his position, his normal position at Michigan. He was able to get a forced fumble in this game and an interception where he dropped back into Daniel Jones' pocket. But I also like Daniel Jones as like a weird. So it's like this line, it made sense to do that. But I also had a lot of the Lions and the Colts. But I don't think the Browns was a bad decision because Josh Allen was going to be high owned. And I like taking quarterbacks that are going to be high owned and then just take the defense. Like I even thought about taking the Falcons this week too, just for that same reason. Because I knew Fields would be high owned. That's another decision point we got to make on Sunday too. Is if we think Nathan Peterman or Fields is going to play. But these are some of the decisions that are just running through my head as we review the slate, and that's what's good because it kind of gives you a precursor of what to expect when you do these lineup reviews. That's why they're so important. Any other thing that, like, we got lucky with T. Higgins a bit. Like, no one thought he would match Adams. But let's talk about Devontae Adams for a minute. I think that's 3 30-plus or 30-point games in a row. Like, we got to give that guy some credit, even though he's playing for the terrible Raiders team. What he's doing is really impressive.
That's true. I agree with that. It's.
I mean, Justin Jefferson's been more. Yeah. Well, Justin Jefferson's been more up and down. Adams has been pretty damn consistent.
I know, and I didn't see that coming. I honestly was very down on the Raiders all year. I did not see that coming. As good as Adams is.
I had it, but not enough of it.
Yeah, I was thinking of just avoiding the Raiders in general because Denver had such a good defense. I didn't see much happening there.
Well, I actually have a fun stat about Denver, and we can transition to build some Thanksgiving lineups if you guys.
I have a fun stat actually after
know,
yours.
Okay, so we'll see which one's better. We'll have Gov be the Russian diplomat here and decide which one he's gonna score higher. My stat was, according to Nick Wright, and also backed by PFF, confirmed it as well. If the Denver Broncos would have averaged 18 points on offense this season so far through their games, just 18, they would be 9-1. So all they need is 18 points, and they couldn't even muster that. Like, if they just scored 18 points in the majority of their games, they're 9-1. That's how dominant their defense has been.
Yeah. And my stat is the Jets in the second half. The Jets in the second half of that game averaged 2.7 inches per play.
Yeah, they couldn't move the ball. Yeah,
it's funny because both of our stats involve dominant defenses, and that's just so sad. And the ineptitude of the offenses on the other side. I honestly think the Jets and the Denver Broncos are the 2 best defenses in the league, but they won't get the credit they deserve this year because of their offenses.
Well, Zach Wilson, what happened at that press conference after the game?
he literally said it wasn't his fault. He was asked if they basically said, like, do you feel like you let your defense down? And within like a second, Donnie, he's like, no.
Yeah, like that's not what a quarterback does.
Forget that. Like, okay, yeah, maybe you should have given the PR answer. Forget the PR answer, the public relations answer of like, oh, your quarterback has to lead, so whether it's your fault or not. Like Matthew Stafford, for example, took a lot of blame for Lions losses that weren't his fault through his tenure. But when it actually is your fault, you 100% have to take the blame. You know, I can see you skirting around the point, Donnie. If it maybe isn't your point, you know, your fault, and you want to try to like be PR, but not totally like sell yourself out. Zach Wilson is the problem.
I saw a thing. I think I sent it to you guys actually. Of like a comparison between Zach Wilson and Jamarcus Russell. Statistically, I know it's not the same because Zach Wilson definitely is a little better. But like it's not that far off, and I missed it. But Zach Wilson this year is at like the bottom of passer rating and everything for quarterbacks this year. It is ridiculous how bad he's been, and I do not feel like that offense is very bad, especially when they had Hall running back there.
I think that was one of the major keys to making their offense good.
Yeah, but
forget the contract for a minute.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
forget the contract for a minute.
One of our audios is off, and I don't know which one. That's why we keep cutting each other off.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I don't know either, but close to Ryan now. Yeah, I would just say honestly, I don't even know if Zach Wilson's worth a backup quarterback role. Like truly, I don't know if he has the composure to be a backup, and I don't think he has the talent. I mean, they'll probably have to keep him next week because of the contract, but I don't know if he deserves it.
It's pretty bad when you're getting benched for Joe Flacco, possibly.
I think it's likely. I honestly think they should. Any other big takeaways before we build Thanksgiving lineup?
I'm set to build.
I'm ready to build. Yeah.
Okay, let me transition really quickly over. I'll do that. So why don't you tell the people your favorite Thanksgiving food and then your take on turkey? Because I have an interesting take on turkey as I set this up. But what's your favorite go-to Thanksgiving meal, moment, nostalgia, anything like that?
All right, my favorite thing, like my
everything just cut out for me. I didn't even hear anything that was just said by anyone.
Favorite Thanksgiving meal type dish. I have a very strange favorite.
Green bean casserole.
See, I like cranberry sauce way more than the average human.
Everyone I know loves cranberry sauce. My brother loves cranberry sauce.
Yeah, I will literally like have the most cranberry sauce, probably more cranberry sauce than you should be allowed to consume. It's a weird obsession, but
do you? I was just gonna ask Donnie, do you eat it all year round, or is it like something that you just gorge on Thanksgiving?
I gorge around Thanksgiving, well, around the holidays, and then I'll stop eating it for the rest of the year.
That's weird to me because if it's your favorite, just eat it all year round, man.
I know, it makes no sense. But it's like I think I just have the connection with it now because that's what we've always done growing up. And yeah, it's just kind of like a Thanksgiving side, and occasionally maybe we'll have it on an extra meal or something. But you can't beat a nice thing of cranberry sauce.
Yeah, but do you like your cranberry sauce a bit bitter? Because like I could see that. I can't.
Yeah,
I don't like sweet too much with my savory, dude. So I can't do like the sweet and savory combos.
yeah, no, I enjoy it a little bit better.
I agree. Yeah, I'm weird because I'm a bit keto, so I don't do a lot of carbs anymore. But if I had, I'm not a big dessert guy, but pumpkin in general is a very underrated vegetable. I'll just say, like, you can
Pumpkin
do,
pie is the best pie.
yeah. But even like pumpkin itself, like the seeds are great. I do have a turkey take. What food or nostalgic or experience do you have that you might want to share with us? Because it's okay if you don't.
I mean, I don't really have an experience. Like, green bean casserole would definitely be my favorite side dish.
Yeah, I don't have a real.
But I just eat a lot of turkey and mashed potatoes anyway.
Yeah, I'm a big turkey eater as well. I'd probably turkey.
Okay,
and
let me ask you this then: smoked, baked, deep fried.
I mean, I've actually only ever had it smoked and baked. I didn't really love it smoked, but I can avenge just the person who made it.
Okay, so this is a perfect lead into my turkey take, right? Turkey's great. It's healthy. It's good and lean. You can cook turkey really good. Okay, so this is not a slanderous. Oh, all turkeys are dry. No, not true. If you're a good chef, you can make a good turkey just like you can make a good raccoon, or you can make a good squirrel, or any other exotic meat. I mean, or something that you don't get that often, right? But the amount of effort you have to put in to make a turkey taste good, the amount of time that you put into it to make it like, because you got to slow cook it, you got to prepare it just right. Otherwise, you will dry the son bitch out, and it just won't be good. So, like, yes, if it's cooked well, it tastes delicious. But there are so much more of a leeway scenario with so many other good meats. Like I'd rather have bacon, sausage, pork of any sort, hamburger. And so, like, for me, we always went hunting around Thanksgiving. So, like, it would just be a gathering of family members, and we would just pick our favorite foods, and that's what we would eat. Sometimes it would be turkey, but it didn't always need to be. So I'm not against turkey. I'm just saying for the amount of effort you got to put into it, I would much rather just have much more tastier food. I don't know. I guess I understand how some people feel like they need to have it for a nostalgic reason, but I never felt like I need to have it.
I enjoy my turkey a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I just think for the amount of effort it takes to make it, I would much rather just make a lot of other different types of meat. But I will say, like I mentioned, I'm very protein heavy, and I'm very conscious on my carbs. Turkey is one of the more leaner proteins, and doesn't have a lot of fat. So I will say, as a guy who still likes to eat but does it healthy, you can eat quite a bit of turkey, opposed to ham. Ham is not that great for you. It's kind of bottom tier meat for me. I'd much rather have turkey over ham. But go ahead.
I think ham sucks. It's bad.
I'm not a ham guy. Yeah, I'm not big on pork in general outside of bacon.
Especially that honey ham stuff. If I'm gonna have ham, let me smoke it. Let me put, like I said, I don't like that salty, savory combination. So like when the stores do that spiral ham and they don't even leave the packets of honey for you, and they just dump all kinds of sweet honey and Sometimes I even see molasses and pineapple juice and stuff like that. No, leave all that stuff off, man, if you're gonna sell me the ham. But so those are my food takes. All hail John Madden, by the way. I think this will be the first year we don't have John Madden with us. He's our cover boy. I had to put him on the cover art this week. It was for sure going to happen. Donnie, this is a treat for you. I want to make sure you guys can hear me because my computer is a bit old, and whenever I use DraftKings, it's got all these new bells and whistles with all these different promotions. That sometimes it freezes for a second. But I was just going to mention to Donnie, not only is it his first ever time building on a 3-game slate, Gov, we get an actual good 3-entry max. So we don't got to get too crazy here. It's only 3-entry max. It's one of the better contests. And usually I take all those for myself, but I'm going to give you guys one of the 3-entry max this week. So let's try to build a good lineup, maybe even 2 if we're feeling froggy. Speaking of which, where do you guys want to go?
You have to pull up your screen.
Oh, I do have to pull it up. That's right. Hold on.
Yep.
I forgot. I closed it for memory reasons. This computer is like back to my college days. So talking about nostalgia, like I've been needing a new update. So I can't wait for Black Friday. But we can't get to Black Friday before we get to Thanksgiving. Now that I got my stream about hopefully, where do you guys want to go from here?
I think, I kind of just want to go ahead and plug in the defense. And I really think the defense is the Patriots' defense.
Let me look at defense. Because normally on a small slate, I just plug in one of the 2 cheapest defenses.
So it's the Lions or the Giants are the cheapest.
But then the Patriots are third. So
yeah. And
I don't mind plugging in the Patriots, but if we need 600, we need to go to the Giants or the Lions.
I don't want to go to the Lions. We'd have to go to the Giants.
Giants do historically play well in Dallas.
And they're playing a division.
We'll see. If we need that 600, then we will worry about it then.
Yeah, but I do love this play because, like we mentioned at the top of the show, Kirk Cousins does struggle against pressure. And the Patriots have generated a crazy amount of pressure recently. I do like the Lions defense against one of the highest owned quarterbacks this week, though. Just as a good correlation piece, as I also mentioned at the top of the show. Just I like that kind of difference maker. If we're going to look at quarterbacks, though, is there any quarterback that we agree on that we like?
There's no one jumping off the page for me.
Well, I was going to say, Johnny, how about we do it this way? Because I think this would be a more interesting way, but we'll still get there. Why don't you name quarterbacks you don't want to play? Who's absolutely do not want to play? For me, it's Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins.
I want to play Josh Allen, but for ownership, we shouldn't.
I don't want to play him because of ownership, and the Lions defense has been really good at turnovers recently. He still has that injury. And by the way, they did something really stupid that I want to mention really quickly. They were in Detroit. They flew back to Buffalo. Maybe I shouldn't call it stupid. That's immature for me to consider it stupid. I'm not a general manager. I'm not a coach. I'm not a management professional. So maybe there was logistical reasons why they did it. I mean, I obviously know there's family reasons, but we're talking about people who are quite wealthy. You think they could have flew in whoever they wanted to. I just don't understand why you would risk it. I think you'd want to have more familiarity. But yeah, they left and now they're coming back. So
that doesn't make sense. Like what? So you take 2 flights when you didn't have to take any in the matter of 2-3 days?
Yeah, they did it. And I'm not even saying from financial reasons, they're wealthy, the owner's probably wealthy. It could have been a private plan. I'm not even saying any of those situational thing. I'm just saying from a rest and preparation standpoint, I don't see the advantage. Now, some people argued that, well, they're going to practice at their facilities, their meeting rooms. There is advantage to that. I think the jet lag and travel. I mean, anyone who travels a lot, even big business people, will always say that that's the worst part about doing business internationally is all the travel. I can just only imagine the quick turnaround. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I just want to mention that as a I don't know if that helps anyone. I know Gov's not a big narrative guy, but we do give the people as much information as we can, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that recently.
Can I just go ahead and argue? I think the only quarterback really worth playing right here is Daniel Jones.
I think it's Jared Goff.
I can see Jared Goff as well, but I think if Tre'Davious White's playing, I'm a little bit skeptical on that.
I think it's Jared Goff because we're getting healthier at receiver. We got DJ Shark came back. Jameson Williams doesn't look like he's going to play, but there's still an outside chance. And I just like that stack. So even if we don't go Goff, I do think we should stack at least some pass catchers up in that Bills Lions game.
No, I'm fine with that. I don't see the upside in playing Goff potentially with
I'm not playing Mac. I'm not playing Mac Jones.
And you don't have to tell me that. I know the Patriots offense. You don't play a Patriots player.
And I don't like Daniel Jones because he just lost Wendell Robinson. They're already thin at wide receiver. They're using Hodges, who they brought over from the practice squad from the Bills. I don't like Jones. And Jones just saw a hot week. I think he's going to be the preferred cheap option this week. That's why I would go just a few hundred less and play Jared Goff. And trust me, I'm not a Jared Goff believer. Anyone that knows me knows I do not like Jared. But I think given the leverage, I think Jared would be an interesting play here.
What do you think of?
I'm going to stay quiet because I kind of wanted to play Mac.
Okay, so
why Mac?
I know Minnesota is beatable. And if we're playing the scenario where Josh Allen doesn't destroy it in the first game.
Yeah.
I don't know, after what I've seen from the Dallas defense, that either Daniel Jones or Dak Prescott does anything in that second game. So I think our quarterback needs to come from the night game, and we're all in agreement we don't want it to be Cousins.
Yeah.
I don't mind going Mac, knowing that he likes to throw it to two guys, basically, so we can stack him with those two guys.
But why wouldn't you just pay the extra 100 for a more explosive offense? Because I don't think there's much difference between Jared Goff and Mac.
And I'll be 100% honest. I don't see Detroit as an explosive offense. You have a great receiver and you run the ball a lot with Jamal Williams, but you don't have Jameson Williams. DJ Shark is not what he once was. Like, I really think you overrate the Detroit offense, as good as it actually is.
I'm just saying we put up 30 points, I think 3 times this season.
Against 3 of the weirder, like those first 3 games were really weird for Detroit. They made you look like your offense looks really good, and they made it look like everyone should just stream every offensive weapon against you. You've clearly tightened that up on both ends. You don't run your offense the same way, where you're just all weirdly, flukily putting up points, but you're also not this defensive sieve like you were, where I just want to attack you. So I'm fine getting off of Josh Allen.
No, and this isn't to argue with you or debate. This is more of a process so people can see. What about Dak Prescott then?
I think he's in sort of the same position as Detroit. I think he's got a good receiver, and he should have weapons where he could put up points, but they're running the ball and controlling the game and just trying to get pass rush going. And That's why I'm like, I think our quarterback needs to come from that night game. And I think we're all in agreement that it's not Cousins. So, like, I think my favorite quarterback to stack outside of Josh Allen is Mac Jones.
Okay.
And then Daniel. It's probably Allen and the Joneses for me. Because Daniel Jones has the rushing upside if he can break something against some of that Dallas pass rush. But that's probably my least favorite of the three.
Do you think Mac Jones gets 20 points?
I think he can definitely get 20 points against Minnesota. The key is it has to be one of the keys is, and here would be my thing, if we're not going to stack Mac Jones, I think we're lock buttoning Ramondre. And I think if we stack Mac, I'm stacking Ramondre with him. Because I think if Mac gets there, it's because Ramondre has 1 or 2 receiving touchdowns. And Mac just sort of gets there, kind of.
I'm okay with the Stevenson call. The Mac thing, it would be.
At worst, it would be Stevenson with our Patriots defense, and that's a mini stack.
So what do you think, Donnie, between Jared Goff, Jones, sorry about that, Mac Jones, Goff, Prescott, Jones? Where do you fall there?
I mean, out of that, it would be top would be Daniel Jones, second would be Mac Jones, third is Dak, and fourth is Goff.
And second for you was Jones, right?
Yeah.
Go.
Yes. Well, Jones was third. Like, Mac Jones is second. Daniel Jones is third.
So who's first, though?
First for me is Josh Allen. Like, I do think that Josh Allen can nuke the slate game 1. But I also think that is the highest owned quarterback. Everyone's going to be thinking that. And so it may very well not happen. Like, if he doesn't, he didn't nuke last week in the same stadium. So he might not.
If we're in consensus, I think we go Daniel Jones.
I think Daniel Jones is probably our most consensus one, yes.
So can we just go Hodges then? The cheap option with Hodges? And then that will
I'm perfectly fine doing that. Yep.
I mean, we mentioned, maybe I was a bit wrong, but I do believe, he saw 2 targets. Now Wendell's not going to be there. It's either him or Kenny Golladay. And I think you guys would say Hodges.
Golladay doesn't play. Like, even last week when Wandale went out, Golladay really didn't do anything. It was Hodges. Yeah. It was Slayton.
It was
no one's ever going to play Kenny Golladay. I would suggest anyone listening to this to not play Kenny Golladay.
Well, I'm not even saying we'll play Hodges. Let's just punch him in there now because I knew he was cheap. And then if we want to go up to Slayton, or we don't even want to double stack. We just want to hope that Daniel Jones keeps rushing.
Can we pay up for running backs?
Yeah.
I feel like Thanksgiving Day running backs are it makes a lot of sense.
Yep. First thing I want to do is get Ramondre in there.
I'm fine with Ramondre and Barkley. Do we? Yeah, I would put Ramondre and Barkley, honestly.
See, and I love Pollard. I think we just do Ramondre and Pollard and then see if maybe we can get a third pay up running back.
Well, if I wanted to get another running back, I would go Swift personally. But
I'm totally off of Pollard. I think Pollard's going to be crazy chalk, and
probably. But I'm fine eating some. Like, we're already going to get off Josh Allen chalk. I think we can eat some chalk. Like, I don't mind going chalky in the middle game and trying to get a different piece from the early game, and then we'll see.
Well, I want to go Barkley because Barkley only saw 5 fantasy points. The Lions held him to a 1.5 rushing average. No one's going to want to pay for his price. I mean, he had 15 touches and only 22 yards. If he didn't get 4 targets, he doesn't get there. Another guy I think we should consider is DeAndre Swift. Everyone will forget about him.
I just said Swift as well. I think Swift makes a lot of sense here.
He's only $5K.
You get
if you really want a cheap dart throw, I don't mind going James Cook from Buffalo. Like they're using, even with bringing in Hines. Hines is playing special teams a lot more than you think. They're using Cook a lot more as like the change of pace back.
Okay, Swift because me and Donnie both like Swift over Cook, I believe, right?
Give us a
Donnie?
receiver, Gov. Any name.
Yeah, I want to say you can pick the receiver, buddy.
We're bringing it back.
We're
bringing it back. That's the receiver I'm picking. I'll tell you that right now. We're bringing back our Daniel.
Yes.
All right. We are going to bring it back. He's going to bounce back and have his Thanksgiving turkey game. I'm playing CeeDee Lamb.
This is the guy that I think could break this. We could also just go with him and get off of Hodges as well. This is the guy I was going to bring up since we did go with Daniel Jones.
I don't. We're really thin there. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather take a risk and like pay up for a guy like a Jonnu Smith and hope that like Henry is tired and they're resting him a bit because it's a Thursday game.
I think we're going to be fine. I don't think we're going to need to do that in this lineup.
I think it's just going to end up being.
I'm saying if we went with Cager, we would take out Hodges and then we would play somebody else.
I'd rather just keep Hodges in there.
Yeah, I'd rather just have Hodges. I don't need to Hodges. At least has a shot of having a solid game with Daniel Jones, as opposed to hoping the second tight end catches a touchdown.
No, he played wide receiver for them. That's why I was just going to mention it.
He's still just a tight end. The fact that he played wide receiver was because they have no wide receivers and they didn't have any time to prepare when a guy goes down. They're not going. They're going to have Hodgins ready to play all that stuff with Slayton and with whoever else they have. I'm not doing a we have our stack. We need to get CD in there as our bring back.
Yeah, I believe that to be true. That's a good one. Now
you're on tight end right now.
Yeah, I know that. Also a good one. But is there any argument for Gallup for you, or is it Lamb? Just to give the people a contrarian view.
I do like Gallup. He has been getting some, at least, level of targets since coming back, but he is a straight up dart throw. He has to catch the deep ball. He can. I think he did have a big game last year around this time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not impossible.
It's not.
Scroll up a bit. Yeah. Can I just argue that it makes sense to just go with the most talented tight end that we can afford with Hunter Henry?
He's not the most talented.
From what we can afford, he is.
I would tell you it's Brock Wright.
You would definitely be wrong there. As much as you may love Brock Wright, but that is 100% Detroit bias on your part, Logan. Like Hunter Henry is a starting tight end in this league on any one of the 32 teams. Brock Wright only yes, 100%. If he wouldn't, he would still be starting on the Chargers if the Patriots wouldn't have paid him the money. Like he is legitimately. I'm not saying he's a Travis Kelce, but he's starting on any team in the league. Brock Wright has his job because you traded Hawkinson and the other guy got hurt.
I'm saying, doesn't it make more sense to play Cager? I'm being serious because Hunter saw one target last week.
I don't want to play Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith. Like at this point, I'm looking at somehow we can let's not do Diggs. Let's do a different. Like I say, we get off of Diggs.
If we can get up to Schultz, and if we can get off Diggs and get up to Schultz, that's ideal.
But we only need $400. Like we can go from Diggs to like Gabe Davis and then play Hawkinson or Schultz and move around. Like we can do a lot of stuff.
Or we keep the lineup, but we just get off the Patriots defense.
Yeah, this is where like we could get that 400 by going from the Patriots to like the Lions.
It hurts.
The Lions are the play.
It hurts when the Patriots give up 10 points to this awful Minnesota offense.
The Lions have been a pretty good defense for the last 2 weeks now.
The Patriots haven't been a good defense all season long for the past 2 years, actually.
But they don't. Yeah, but they're more expensive, and a lot of this is to get I do not want to play Hunter Henry.
Okay, so just think about it this way. I think these defenses on this short slate are probably going to be very close. Like, I don't think the Patriots defense is going for like 20 fantasy points. So even if they get their good game of 12, I think the Lions are going to have probably, unless Josh Allen nukes the slate. Like, this whole lineup is built around Josh Allen didn't nuke the slate and didn't get 30, and the Lions defense doesn't have -2.
I think that Kirk Cousins is going to blow, and the Patriots are going to blow the Vikings out on Thanksgiving.
I think there's a better chance Josh Allen gets hurt than he has a nuclear slate. This Lions defense, since firing this, has gotten 11 fantasy points, 10 fantasy points, and 11 fantasy points. They might give up more points than the Patriots, but they're going to score, which is going to force the other team to have to throw, which leads to sacks. And it's perfect leverage off of a high-priced quarterback who's also going to be high-owned.
I just think the Patriots defense is going to create so many turnovers and so much pressure.
Yeah, but Donnie, every defense it has a lot of variance, right? And so then what happens is the highest owned defense is usually a bad play. And the Patriots will be the highest owned defense, I believe. And I just don't want to play Hunter Henry. So I agree with you on a lot of things.
That's why I'd rather get off Diggs, go to someone else, get Schultz in the lineup, and but Schultz is my favorite tight end on the slate.
Yeah. Well, it just makes sense too to pair Swift with the defense. Like, there's just too much good.
See, like, I am actually big. Like, again, this whole lineup is based around Josh Allen doesn't nuke everything. So, like, exactly. I would rather have the Patriots defense and then grab a different receiver, because if Diggs is going off where we need him, Josh Allen probably is. Whereas another receiver could just have a solid game randomly and not.
I'll do that. If you guys outrule me there, I'll do that.
But at least let's look and see what we have with that. I would.
Fair enough. Yeah, we can do that. I think this is more out here. I'm just a personal fan of Diggs, so like whenever I think of a player for Buffalo, I always think of Diggs.
NFL kind of fumbled this in my opinion. They should have had Dallas and Buffalo play if that would have fit in somehow. I just feel like that would be a great game, having the Diggs play against each other Thanksgiving.
Get off that game completely. I didn't realize he was only 8,200.
But if we're gonna play the Patriots defense, does it really?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so like there's a lot. Well, in a 3-game slate, you're probably gonna have some anti-correlation.
But like that, I think if Justin Jefferson is gonna get to where he needs to get, that's a real big anti-correlation.
Yeah. See, if we went to Gabe, then we have a lot of money. Like, if you did Gabe and the Patriots defense, then we can probably just play like Slayton instead.
Honestly, Amon-Ra?
Yeah, do Patriots defense, then we do Swift and Amon-Ra and see what we can move off of.
What about DJ Shark?
No.
Why? Why would we do that?
Why? Yeah, like there's literally 4 other options I would rather have on Detroit. We're trying to get 2 of them in the lineup. Why would you mention DJ Shark?
Well, I'm saying to get off of Swift and go with Shark.
We don't need to save money. We're going to have money to spend on someone.
I know that
it's not like we need to save. Like, even when you put in the Lions defense, we're gonna have $1,000 to go up off of someone. We don't need to like go down from Swift to Shark to save money anywhere.
So you want to get off of Swift and go to St. Brown, right? Or do you want?
No, we already got St. Brown in there. We need to get,
No. We need to go the Lions defense to the Patriots defense.
I knew that.
Then we'll look at what we're going to do with that $1,000.
Okay.
Because we can move up from Hodges now.
Let's see, like, so wide receivers in the 4K range. What do we have?
Not a whole lot.
McKenzie, Parker,
That's
Shark.
that's why I mentioned DJ Shark. They think it's going to be Kenny Galladay that sees targets.
I
And they
don't
price
like
it-
that.
I
They
do
first-
want a Giants receiver in here because we have Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
Hodges is the guy then.
Yeah, I think Hodges is the guy. So at that point,
Can we get
At
off
that-
a running back?
is it? I know you guys love the guy, but why don't we just do what the fucking Detroit's doing? And can we play Jamal Williams instead of Swift with that $1,000? I don't even
That
know what
makes
his price
sense to
was.
me.
Like, I know I like Swift too, and he'll be the lower owned guy, but we know they just use Williams and give him all the touchdowns.
They
So,
also
like,
use Jackson too.
I don't
okay
know.
with
I don't know if we even. Yeah, we have the money too. He's only $300 more. So like then we have $700 on the table we could play around with. But like I don't know. Again, the only other move would be to go like
I was gonna say get
Yeah.
off of Stevenson and go to Cook with Harris coming back.
no, because
Do
Stevenson
you
still
have the
gets
Patriots
passing
defense?
game work. He still
Right.
gets Like I don't like if
Stevenson
that's
got like 5
if I'm
targets.
if I'm getting off of Stevenson, I almost want to just play Harris. Like I feel like if this night game goes how we think it's going to go, I want one of those New England running backs with the
I
Patriots.
kind of like that though, going Harris and not Stevenson.
Yeah, and maybe we can get up from St. Brown back to Diggs, possibly.
What does that look like?
Can we get up to Diggs now?
Yeah, I
from
think we
St. Brown?
can. I think we can.
Well, I was just gonna take out Jamal Williams because I think we can get up to Diggs then too.
We can definitely get up to Diggs, but we can keep Jamal Williams and still. Get
I'd
up to
rather
Diggs.
keep Jamal Williams because I feel
We
like
can
that's
keep
more
Jamal
definite
Williams and still get
touchdown.
up to Diggs. We can keep Jamal Williams and still get up to Jefferson.
We can
I'd
get
rather
to
get
Jeff-
Diggs.
No, I would rather have Diggs too. Like, with the Patriots defense, like okay, so yeah, now there's a good lineup. We get our double stack. We
Took
get
a
our
little
bring back.
bit from us.
Yeah, double stack with a double bring back. So we're saying the scoring game is that Giants Dallas game.
but
The game
here's
that
where-
puts up, the game that hits the over on its total is the Dallas New York game.
here's
We
what I
get the
love
running.
about
We get Harris and Patriots shutting down the Minnesota game,
that.
and then we get the two probably highest owned, but also highest touchdown potential guys from the early game in Jamal Williams and Diggs. I like it.
And personally, I have a lot of Swift in my personal lineup, so I don't mind Jamal Williams. But I love Jamal. I've actually said I think Jamal is more talented than Aaron Jones, and they messed up by getting rid of the wrong running back. I mean, that's how much I like. It's just Swift to me is a leverage play because everyone hates it because he loved on it in their fantasy league this year. You know, one thing I like about building lineups with you guys is one of the best things they say about building tournament lineups is it should make you a bit uncomfortable. And it's hard to be uncomfortable with your personal bias when you personally build a lineup by yourself. Because even if you try, you always convince yourself to go back to the plays you like. There are plays in this lineup that we both hate, that all of us hate.
Yeah, I'm not huge on the Najee play. And like I said, I'm not big on Daniel
Right.
Jones as my stack, but like it works.
You're not huge on Dan Jones. I wouldn't play Jamal Williams.
Or not Najee, wrong
Over
Harris.
here.
Damian.
Right. Where Donnie loves the Patriots defense, I would pay down to the Lions defense. So there are things we love about this lineup, but things we also hate about it, which I think is the perfect kind of encapsulation of how they say you should.
I
build a
think
lineup.
is this the lineup that we've had the most disagreements on? Like, I feel like we've never disagreed so much building a lineup.
Maybe we have, but we've always had options that we also liked. You know, so
Yeah,
it's
on
like,
a lot larger
let's
slates.
say-
I think
yeah.
this condensed slate has really
Right.
made that like it's really decisive between us.
right. I was gonna go Mike Vrabel, and this is an adult show, so I can say this. I was gonna go Mike Vrabel. You were gonna have to cut off my penis before I was gonna play Hunter Henry in that one. I mean,
Oh, I wasn't saying it was a good play. I was just saying if we're playing somebody who is there, I think you just go with the most talented guy out of a not a good pool.
The reason I said Cager in that situation was because he was lining up in the slot, but then Gov is right. He is still a tight end by nature. By the way, I want to mention really quickly before we close up shop. Kyle Pitts was on track to actually put up like a season high in projections. Actually had like 2 catches for decent yardage early in that game and then got hurt. I had a lineup with him and Stafford in it where I think if both of them stay healthy, that lineup has a chance to do something real special. So get well soon to Stafford. Probably his season's over now. Maybe he plays this week, but it doesn't look good for Pitts either long term. So those were 2 bad injuries that we saw, along with Wendell Robinson, who tore his ACL. So be thankful for your families because some of these people were going to go through some real pains. And just as we watch football, enjoy the football, but also appreciate the people that are, the cameramen, the people of this nature that are bringing this game to us, maybe missing their Thanksgiving dinners and putting their, hard-earned money in the line to make the money so they can spend time with their families later. Anything else you guys want to mention before we close up shop?
That is it from me. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yep.
We
Hope
did
everyone
it.
has a great holiday.
Yeah, and likewise, we actually did it. So pour the cranberry juice. We're just over an hour. I told these guys we got to tighten it up. We did it, and congratulations. Enjoy your favorite food, your favorite memories. Have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving.